Sidechain can be used to create effects in your music. It can also be used to create space. For example, if your kick and your 808 is fighting against each other, you can use sidechain on your 808 to allow your kick to punch through and give you that snappy sound. If you don't know how to use sidechain, you don't know how to set up, I'm going to show you now. So I'm just going to show you how to sidechain your 808 or your bass to your kick. I've got this beat here. I'm going to sidechain the 808 to the kick so that it can punch through. Right, so what we're going to do is grab your compressor, Logic stock compressor, insert the compressor on your bass, your 808, go to where it says internal sidechain, and then you want to find your kick. So if your kick's an audio file, you can go to audio, find your kick. If it's an instrument, you can go and find your kick that way. So I'm just going to use the instrument kick. So all you need to do now is just set your compressor so it allows the kick to duck the 808 or your bass down every time the kick hits. So it's kind of like the radio DJs when they play the music and they start talking and you can hear the music get ducked down. It's the same thing that's happening with sidechaining. So you've got your sidechain, you've chose your kick, and then we just want to bring the threshold down until we start to see or start to feel or hear the kick punching through. You can see on the display here what every time the kick hits. You want to set the attack and the release fast. That's what I normally do. So this way the compressor is just acting quick. You can turn the ratio up. I normally turn it up to about 8. You can choose whatever ratio you want. So I like to set my ratio into about 8:1, bring the threshold down and to a point where I like how it sounds. You don't need that much compression. I'll exaggerate so you can hear it. So you notice it kind of swelled. The kick hit, so the compressor ducked the bass, and it gave it like a swell type of sound. I think that sounds cool. I want to show you one more trick for using sidechain that will allow you to have a pumping effect. If you listen to this, it sounds kind of boring and plain without the pumping effect. So what we're going to do here is, again, add the sidechain, the compressor, insert your compressor, find your kick, which is on instrument, ultra beat, and then what we're going to do is listen to, I'm going to exaggerate so you can hear it. Again, we're going to pull the threshold down. What's happening there? Alright, let me just quickly bounce these because it is acting weird. So that sounded a bit weird. So what I want to do is just quickly bounce that in place and then I can turn all the plugins off. So to do that, you just press Control and B. We'll give it a name, pad sound, that would do. Let Logic do its thing. Also a great way of saving CPU. So if you're starting to lag a bit, you're using a lot of plugins, you can just quickly bounce in place. So we mute that, we've got our sound now, which is lovely. So we're going to put a compressor on that now so we can sidechain it to the kick. Open your compressor or insert your compressor, go to sidechain, choose your kick, and we're going to put the ratio up to about 8:1 again. Bring the threshold down. So you can hear the pumping effect that it does. If you don't want it to, so that's a cool trick, but because the kick has its own little rhythm, it doesn't have that pumping, continuous pumping like you hear in EDM. So what we can do with that is we can create a dedicated kick just for that sidechain to give us that one type of sound. So I've got my kick and I want to create a 4 to the floor kick. 1, 2, 3, 4 in time with the BPM. Notice I didn't press record then, so you can just press Shift and R and it's been ghost recorded. So now that's going to act like a trigger which I should have said earlier. It's a trigger for the sidechain. You can duplicate that by pressing Command and R. We've got our 4 to the floor kick, which is going to give us that womp type of sound. Go to the sound that you want to affect, put a compressor on there, go to your internal sidechain, and we're going to choose the kick sidechain that we named earlier. Put into the ratio to about 8:1, and then bring the threshold down. Fast attack, fast release. You can see the compressor's working. But if you notice, you can hear the kick. We don't want that. So because the kick is triggering the compressor, we can take the output off. We don't need an output for that because it's already sidechain. It doesn't need a sound. So now that we've gone to our outputs, we've chose no output. Now you should just have the trigger doing its thing. Nice. Lovely. So that's how you create that swirl type of sound with sidechain. You can also use sidechain on vocals if it's clashing with another instrument and you want the vocals to pop through. You can do that. I'll show you how it's done. So I'm just going to sidechain the vocals to this guitar part. Again, just open the compressor, insert the compressor, find the audio file. It is hook bip, and we're just going to change the ratio, change the attack, change the release, so that every time the vocals are there present, it's going to duck down the guitar sound. You can make it as subtle as you want, or you can make it as obvious as you want. That way you just push the vocals to the front, let the clashing instrument just fall back a bit and allow the vocals to breathe. You can sidechain your kick to your 808, you can sidechain anything. Now you know how to sidechain. You can use that in your mixes, in your music, your beats, whatever it is you're doing, and get your music sounding pro. So be sure to watch this next video because I know you're going to like it.